everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how Udemy and Skillsoft are partnering up. Okay, so let's take a look at Udemy here. So again, Friday was not a good day for stocks. Things are going down. It seems like the Federal Reserve has stopped their forward guidance in saying that, well, you should really not think that inflation is going to be a huge problem. In fact, we are going to taper. We are going to raise interest rates sooner because inflation is indeed out of hand. And so the market does not like that at all, especially for growth stocks here. So as you can see, it's 26% down from the IPO. And again, from the opening, it's 21% and a whole 30% down from the top here. Now, what's interesting is that this week, they're going to have the earnings call on December 8th, and it's going to be, of course, after market hours. Now, of course, you can actually play this if you think that the earnings are going to be good, which I think they are. You can buy before earnings, and then you can sell in the post hours here. Now, when I do this, I'm probably batting about 50%. Sometimes I will buy to an earnings call early this week on a company that I think is going to do really well. And then after hours, I sell it when they announce the news. And of course, when they announce it, it goes up after hours and you can sell it. Now, when you sell after hours, you usually don't get as good of a price during market hours, but it is possible here. Depending on the platform, you can also buy it here. But again, if it goes down, which in some cases I've purchased something and then it went down quite a bit after hours over unexpected earnings, you can always sell it and you can buy it depending on which platform that you're using. Nevertheless, I think that this that Udemy is probably going to have some good earnings. They wouldn't do a market update so soon after IPO if it wasn't good. But I'm going to be talking about where they're getting that money from, of course, in future videos. But what I really want to talk about today, and of course this is perfectly timed news, is that they are partnering with Udemy. Okay, so Skillsoft is a company that has software as a service, an LMS, and a bunch of learning products. Plus, they have a lot of people, like as in a huge database, and I think they're partnering together to essentially. I think they're partnering together to essentially to leverage both of their sales here, right? So it's kind of interesting. If we go to their site here, you'll see that there are a ton of things. Now, what's interesting is I don't know why this courses button doesn't work. Maybe they didn't test with the Brave browser, which is the browser that I'm using here. But you can see that a lot of the courses they offer are like leadership and development here, as well as they have compliance, which is actually quite big. These courses are actually quite difficult to make here, and the reason why they're difficult to make is because you have to be extremely accurate with everything, because again, people are going to be buying this course and making pretty big decisions as to what they're doing here. But what we do is we produce these technology courses here. They have a lot of these tech courses here. They also have boot camps here, which I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Yeah, for some reason, I can't access that page. Nevertheless, they do have some boot camps, which apparently they are all pre-recorded boot camps, but you can ask questions. And so it looks like it's pretty good here. Now, the other thing is they also have, as you can see, they also have kind of their own LMS tool. And Udemy's LMS hasn't really updated in the last probably 6 years. I mean, there's probably been a little bit of updates, but it hasn't really been like an amazing update. And to be fair, a lot of LMSs kind of go up to a certain point and then they plateau. Teachable is a very good example of this. Teachable hasn't changed pretty much their LMS since 2015 or something like that. And then Udemy's is mostly the same too. Of course, they've made optimizations. but they haven't been really that big or noticeable. So I wouldn't be surprised if they integrate some of this into the Udemy platform specifically for their business partners, because really, Udemy is, again, two business. They have the marketplace and the business here, and it's best if they have a big, bright line in between the two. That's just my own personal opinion. I'll be doing a whole other video about this on why Udemy should get their marketplace up to $4 billion in sales. And again, I'll be doing a whole video about that here. But as you can see, they are partnering with this company, and it's, of course, probably good news. And since the earnings call is on, Wednesday, this is obviously strategic so that both of these companies here, because Skillsoft is also a publicly traded company, right? So if I go ahead and take a look at Skill here, again, it's down. And again, it's not because maybe they're a terrible company. It's because, it's if the stock market's down, it's going to be down, right? So as you can see, let's go here. And like these guys have been around since 1998. So it looks like they IPO'd in 2019. And if we kind of just look at this here, we had 22% up, and now it's down a little bit. So, not a terrible amount of growth here. But, I do expect this to be bullish for both Udemy and Skillsoft. So anyway, that is something that's interesting. Now, there's one last thing I want to note about Udemy here. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about looking at the stock here, and I'll post a picture of this, or I'll get my editor to post a picture of this here, is that you see that Udemy kind of goes up a lot after hours. Well, what is this? Is it people buying or is it people selling? Well, it's kind of hard to figure out what is what, but if there's a lot of shorts onto a stock here, usually if there's a big spike in earnings afterwards, it can be people covering their shorts. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. I think Udemy probably has a lot more shorts against it than a lot of people think. And again, I don't think it's a short. I don't think, as if you're, again, not investment advice at all, but I wouldn't short Udemy. I just wouldn't do it, because in this current climate, shorting can be extremely disastrous. Again, I did a whole video about this. Have a stop loss if you're going to short, and make sure that stop loss can carry on to after hours, etc. But the thing is that, if a short squeeze happens, you can be, it won't be good for you, and it can be difficult to do. So remember that shorting is the double black diamond of investing. So please do it with caution here. But anyway, so if you look at this, if you look at the after hours here and it spikes, chances are it's someone covering their shorts. Nevertheless, I still think Udemy has a good product. It needs some improvement, specifically on the marketplace profitability side, but I think it's a good stock. I've been using it. I don't see any reason why it's going to really go out of business. I don't think it'll go out of business. Now that it's a publicly traded company, a lot of things are going to be transparent, and people like me are going to be dissecting it, and it'll mean for investors to take a look at that, right? So if they're going to hire, 10,000 extraneous employees, well, the stock is going to go down and they're going to go out of business, right? They just can't do that stuff anymore. When they're a private company, they could do whatever they want, but now they really have to be accountable to the shareholders. And if you're an owner of Udemy, that means you. So if you want Udemy to do better, then you have to tell them about that here. All right. So that concludes this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.